Really?
Before the Woodinville one opened, so I was in Redmond when I was working up there.
Good, then you guys can both kind of tag team that, and then...
And the only one that we have all actually reviewed on the website is not even here. The Trickster IPA.
Oh, yeah.
I reviewed it. Brian didn't do a review.
Oh.
But Brian had a post about it, and then like a month later you picked it up thinking it was something like brand new. And you're like, oh, this is Thor's Double Dippin' review because he doesn't even read our own website. But that's fine. You get a hall pass because somebody here doesn't even listen to our own podcast.
What?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's okay. I'm sure Jordan didn't watch game tape either.
Welcome to another episode of the American Beer Review Podcast.
Good times with good friends requires good beer. Lucky for us, we know how to pick all three.
We're a group of friends who grew up in the Pacific Northwest, giving us a jump start on our craft beer journey.
Join us today while Brian,
Alec,
and Chad
review some beer, talk about beer topics, and whatever else comes up. We invite you to pour yourself a drink and hang out with us.
Let's get into a little something different, shall we? It's the post-holiday slump. I don't know about you guys, but after you get through Christmas and New Year's and year-end, these kind of 2 weeks in January, you're kind of left in a lurch. Playoff football hasn't been settled yet. You don't know who's in the playoffs. Big beer companies are not giving you their year-end results, so there's really a lack of news at this point in the year, and so we don't sit and listen to ourselves talk and monologue like what I'm doing right now.
Well, and it's kind of a gap in between seasonal releases.
Yeah.
The winter seasonal releases have already been out. There's not a whole lot of them dropping at this time of year.
Is this your guys' way of explaining that we're giving dry a try? Are we doing dry January? Is that what's going on?
I did draw a 2021 and 2022.
Kind of.
Sort of. No. What I am trying to say is today's episode, we are going to focus with all of our brain power in this room.
It's pretty tough.
On a single entity, and that entity is Black Raven Brewing out of Redmond and Woodinville, Washington. So we have an unkindness of beers from Black Raven Brewing today. Our starter today is a collaboration with Flat Stick Pub. We got
Players Club Pilsner.
Thank you, Brian.
I can read.
Well, I should have handed him the can.
No,
Instead, you were opening it. It's fine.
It's like somebody should have researched so they knew what they were talking about without having to look at the can. But
this one is wet. Why is it wet?
I don't know.
All right. I like the can design. It's kind of like a retro classic.
Yeah.
This is also one, I believe, we've talked about it before. This is like, hey, we had a bunch of cans of this certain type.
Let's put a sticker on that.
But we're just going to sticker it up
right,
for a different type of beer. I'm not mad about it. So, like, their Black Raven logo is creeping up above it. Yeah. But the
yeah, so we are...
Players Club one is on there.
So, this starter clocks in at 5% ABV, a nice crushable Pilsner. So while you guys kind of sip and savor that, let's start talking about Raven Brewing Company.
Can I talk about this beer real quick?
Please do, while I read my notes.
Yes. Pilsners are interesting in the fact that, like, when it comes across, hitting 5% is actually what I sometimes would consider a little boozier. I mean, it's still not that bad for those light beers to hit 5%. But I feel like the craft side really kind of end up getting, unless they're intentionally like, oh, we want this to be a low ABV. 5 still is. You can get some like pales and stuff that are up in the mid 5s. This one drinks very clean. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little more into Pilsners. And kind of really appreciate what the brewers do with them instead of it just being like that American macro light beer thing.
Right.
So this... I've only had one sip, but it's kind of malty, a little like, it's pretty clean, but it's not like it doesn't taste as like crisp. It's not as like a whether it's like CO2 or something that's not really hitting like hard with that, but it's still a really nice, clean drinking, smooth. It's like some Pilsners give you like kind of a little like a back of the mouth like kick,
Right.
and this one just is a little more smoother than that.
I love it. There's a little bit of bread. There's a little bit of skunk. It's just what you want in a Pilsner.
Yeah.
What do you got about Black Raven?
So, from their site, in case anybody wants to fact check me, the source is Black Raven Brewing. So back in 2000, Bo moved up here and became the night brewer for Mac and Jack's, kind of a well-known local brewery up here in Washington. He had a short stint at Far West Ireland Brewing, which is now closed, according to my internet research, and then ended up at the Seattle Ram, which another local kind of tap room,
Chain brew pub.
decent beer.
Yeah.
And then in 2009, with his business partner Kat, they founded Black Raven, and with the goal of brew the beer they wanted to drink.
Which tends to be the case a lot of times with brewers opening their own.
Yeah, you go to Mac and Jack's, Far West, Seattle Ram, you're brewing the beer that you're told to brew.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Getting the knowledge, and then making the connections, and then go start your own thing. Back in 2019, kind of on the tail end of the last Great Recession.
2009.
Yeah, 2009.
Not 19.
I was like, I
gonna
feel like
say,
they've been around for a little
there
longer than that.
2014, so.
And that kind of runs us into our next beer from Black Raven Brewing.
Sure, so.
We reached into the past, and now we're going to reach over for the Kitty Cat Blues Blueberry Pale Ale.
All right. You got this one pulled up for some stats while I pour, Brian?
You know, that would be professional of me and be ready to go, but I can do that sort of thing really quick here. So, Pale Ale, 5.5%. Basically, the way that they have described it is they took kind of a generic, just regular pale, and then ramped it up with some blueberries. It says they used dried blueberries, vanilla bean, and hibiscus. So they kind of feel like it's pretty easy drinking and a little blueberry muffiny.
I mean, even so, I poured.
It's very blueberry muffiny.
I was going to say,
aroma.
just pouring these for you guys and myself.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can smell the blueberry, like even without getting my nose in it. I can smell the blueberry coming out.
Can I see the can real quick?
Sure.
Because I've seen this one on the shelves forever.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like, and I don't know that I've seen and recognized. So Black Raven also has kind of a standard styling for most of their cans.
Yes.
There
is a standard graphic language for all their stuff, which makes it super easy to pick it out on the store shelf.
Yeah.
Which is also why the Flat Stick Pub, the starter beer, popped.
Yes.
Because it doesn't follow.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it's a collaboration with another brewery. But yeah, it had a little bit of a different look.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't realize though on the back it's got its own little more personalized. A cat stuck in a bird cage.
So the cool thing about their beers, there's the standard front, which is fairly standard when you look at all the beers, but on the backside, there's like a variant cover, if you will.
Okay.
That kind of gives you the kind of the feeling behind the beer.
Yeah, I'm cheating and looking at our next beer.
The blueberry. So the smell is not overwhelming, but like.
But you know it's blueberry.
Kind of potent, yeah. And the actual flavor is, I think, a good balance. It's pretty tame. I don't think it's not a punch you in the mouth like blueberry, and I almost expect a lot of them that do blueberry are going to go like sour.
Mm-hmm.
and this is not just a standard pale with some blueberry.
This plays on that sweet muffin blueberry.
But it's blueberry muffin, because it doesn't have an over like blueberry sweetness. It does have still that bready, malty finish to it.
You definitely tell it's an ale still.
Yeah.
But I'm getting like now kind of on the back of my tongue and in my mouth like a whisper of blueberry.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. It's just something different.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah. I like the subtlety of it. I think blueberry can be kind of a strong, overpowering flavor.
They didn't overdo it with the blueberry.
No. And this one comes in a 12-ounce can. And I feel like that's a good, like, I don't think even at a full 12 ounces, like, I'm not getting super burned out.
No, you could get through a can. You're not finishing multiple cans, or I'm not finishing multiple
Probably
cans
not.
in a sitting.
Yeah.
But this would definitely be visiting Black Raven. You'd definitely
You'd
add it
have
to
to
your
have a
flight.
pint every time you go.
Well, I wouldn't even say the pint, but it would be part of the flight.
Yeah.
When you show up.
Definitely want to make sure that people grab if they've never been or tried it before.
So you said they started in Redmond, right?
They
started in Redmond.
Started in
that
Redmond.
was the brewery that I visited. And
Yeah.
Brian, you've been to the Redmond?
Woodinville.
So the newer one.
Yeah, so the newer one, I'll kind of...
built in 2019.
Yeah.
I'll get this factoid in. So they started in Redmond, and then in 2019 they expanded to Woodinville. So now they have both locations. And then the original Redmond location now is kind of their Skunk Works site.
The R&D site.
Here's where the new innovative beers, and then the Woodinville one is we make beer. We're making beer here. There's a tap room. I'm going to throw it to you guys because you both have visited both locations.
So
while we prepare beer number 2, the Coconut Jones. Coconut.
So, okay. Do you want to start? You went to the original.
So I went to the original back when it was the only.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they were brewing on site, and the expansion of Woodinville was just to give them the better capacity. But I was there 2014, maybe early 2015. So it's been forever. I think it was right around the time we started the website.
Yes.
So it's been a little while. I had the only one we didn't have today is the Trickster IPA, and that's what I had a couple pints of there before heading home. But it was awesome, and then it was really cool to see it within like a month or two of that showing up on the shelves. The store I worked. So,
and speaking on the Trickster, on their site, they kind of have an FAQ section. Their Trickster IPA, from pitch to your pint glass, it's about 18 days.
Super quick turnaround.
Super fresh beer being pumped out at the tap rooms.
Yeah, so the newer one is, I think you mentioned also the production facility, like their main one. So I went in 2001. I just looked it up. So it was one of the places during
2011.
2021. Did I say one?
You said 2001.
Goodness, no. Yeah, we're killing it with the dates. So this was a place like still kind of height pandemic type time.
Yeah.
We felt pretty good going there. It's a big, huge open space. Like you're talking like 30-foot ceilings or something like that. Because it kind of matches in with giant windows into the production facility. So if you sit in one of the tables and you're like facing the bar, back behind the bar is the facility, kind of looking back in behind it. So the Woodinville's known for mostly wineries.
Yes.
There's a really large amount of them there. There are a few breweries. One notable one that's not there anymore that was pretty famous for all was the big Red Hook brewery there. But going out to Black Raven, there's a few others that you could still visit if you want to go out in that area and do a little beer tour. You can definitely hit a few within a short bit of time driving between them all. But we really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a huge open space. Not super industrial like what a lot of places you get are. There's definitely more like just kind of wood of different things, like almost like a pergola over the bar. Kind of inviting place with a couple of tucked away rooms, if I remember correctly, that you could kind of get into if you
have
wanted
a group,
to sit
you
aside.
can get away. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but it's a huge open space, big tables. So we enjoyed it. Other than it, just you're out in these like kind of warehousey areas. So that's one of the things that I'm sure in a lot of areas is similar, that you get these like breweries in more warehouse areas because you can do that production facility, fit them in the large buildings, but also have kind of an attached tap room to go along with it. So
One, it saves you the expense of having a off-site tap room.
yeah, you're not having to like
and
transport your own stuff.
And if you want to have like a big shindig and get a little loud, at least you're not you're kind of isolated.
Yeah,
not disturbing the neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed a flight while I was there, which is kind of my go-to, but was able to get. It's funny because some of the beers that we have today are really known Black Raven beers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're prominent ones. And so when I went to the tap room, I kind of made sure to grab ones that I'd never heard of, and kind of snatched onto those and had some good variety of beers.
Yeah, because the other one that I reviewed and had a couple times, no surprise, would be their Second Sight Scotch Ale, with a warm spot in my heart for Scotch ales.
Yeah,
I think is another one of their, at least at the time, was another one of their staple.
Yeah. And that it's still in there year round.
Yep.
Stable. While you guys start digging into the Coconut Jones Coconut Porter, just kind of a light overview of their year-round offerings. They've got Pilsner, got a light Pilsner with lime, which I'm intrigued by for this summer.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
The Trickster IPA, which Alex done a review in the past. The Coconut Porter, which we are
tasting right now.
I got my nose in it right now. Ooh, that's nice. An Updraft Pale Ale, the Kitty Cat Blues Infused Pale Ale, which we tried earlier. The Samish Haze IPA, because you have to have a hazy IPA.
I had that one in my flight when I was there.
The Second Sight Scotch Ale, and the Squawker IPA, which I did not see that one. If I did, I would have grabbed it. I didn't want to. I know we had done the Trickster.
Right. I didn't realize Samish became, I don't know if it was when I was there, but that it was a year-round now as well. Although I'm looking now and seeing people I know checked it in back in 2020, so it's definitely been around for a while.
So Coconut Porter at 5.6, which for a porter is a little bit lighter from an ABV standpoint.
Porters, I feel like tend to be more in the fives, the mid to high fives, than like your American stouts, which are going to usually be a minimum of like 6.2 or above. Yeah, it's
not an overwhelming like coconut smell.
No,
very light on the coconut.
It's also not like as black as a standard kind of porter that you would think of.
No, you can see through it.
Yeah, this is more like a.
I'm getting brown ale vibes.
Yeah,
from the color.
Yeah,
and the head retention.
Yeah, I could see this. You could have branded this as like a. Maybe it's just a weirder variation to do it, but like a coconut brown ale seems a little bit funkier. Yeah, the coloration I wouldn't have pegged it as a
porter.
Yeah.
The coconut's not overwhelming in the flavor, though, either.
No.
Which is why I can see it's a year-round.
It's very subtle. I like it. Mm-hmm. It kind of knocks... I think if the coconut wasn't there, you'd get a little more malt.
Could be.
Kind of in the back. That coconut helps make it a lot cleaner. It's a very satisfying sip.
Yeah, it's good.
I think I'm going to go opposite what I've been saying the last few episodes. I'd want maybe a touch more. Maybe this would be good at a 6%.
I can top you off.
No, I think he means the flavoring.
Well, and yeah, I'll have some more of that.
I mean,
but I think
yes,
but I
and
think 5. This feels a little light.
5.6.
For me,
so it's
at
right in
this
that range.
yeah, but,
But
again,
a mid 6,
It
maybe
fit-
a little
see,
more bite.
you're
would
hitting-
help offset that how light the.
but then you're hitting a stout. That to me is it's a different beer.
But that's kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what the plethora of beers out there have been telling me. Like, I see all the stouts on the shelf, and they're like 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hitting more stout
Yeah.
style. So porters, I've always seen, they're, when you really look at the style guide of stuff, it's kind of like, it's not an easy way to explain the difference between a porter and a stout. But I do think that like a little bit of the lighter body feel, and definitely lower ABV tends to be the standard. If you're getting to an imperial porter, that's kind of getting you into a different ball game. But the porters are definitely going to be more in that 5 range and not as like bold mouthfeel than your standard stout. I think you wanted a little more coconut. I think this is like, for me as a non-coconut person,
No, this is perfect.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's just enough. Like, I am probably not getting a ton of coconut beers other than just to taste and sample, but like just general flavor for me as like, it's interesting because you kind of tend to think coconut as like summery, like flavor.
Yeah, mixing it with the porter.
But I could see this is like a summer evening. Like, could be kind of a nice,
A crisp evening, yeah.
yeah, kind
By
of
the fire.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reviewing it the first time.
You reviewed this one
Yeah.
as well. Okay.
I think I triple or quadruple dipped into reviewing Black Raven beers for the website. But I grabbed it in the 22 without actually looking at the bottle.
Mm.
So I was expecting cocoa as in chocolate.
Oh, like chocolate. Because
it was a very shocking difference then.
Because this is just COCO, not COCOA.
Wait, listen, I grabbed bottles and then I drank them.
Did you forget your glasses again? Oh, I forgot. You never wear them.
Never wear them. This one, though, I mean, Thor and I both topped off our glasses on this, so
Yeah.
I can see why it's a year round.
Yeah, I think so far, if I'm topping off, I might go back to that blueberry one in a little bit
We
here.
got some of that too. I will get the next beer ready. Thor, you want to touch on distribution? Because I was looking this up earlier today, and I have the answers if you don't. And I thought I had some interesting thoughts or insights on it.
I have very little insights, so I think yours will be more insightful.
All right, perfect. So they are in just Washington, as of today, Washington, Idaho, Alaska, and Hawaii. So Washington, Idaho makes sense. Alaska, proximity-wise from the Northwest,
Yeah.
sort of makes sense.
You're just throwing your stuff on a barge,
And
get
that's
it up there.
what I was thinking, is you got enough people coming from the Seattle area fishing, so going up
Yeah.
seasonally, and you're just sending some beer with them. Hawaii seemed like an interesting next
Nice.
jump for
Yeah.
distribution. Just the cost of getting everything over there was... And I haven't been to Hawaii. Brian, you think you've been more recently than I have. It's been a handful of years.
We went in 2019.
All right, so more recently, is there just a dearth of craft beer there? Because you go to Hawaii before you go to Oregon. You go to Hawaii before you go to Northern California.
Oh no! Like as potential distribution, I would not.
That's what I'm saying. So
like you said, the cost of it seems prohibitive, unless. And I don't think they are. I think they're independent. I don't.
They are.
They've got all the labels on their can. They are
Okay.
independent.
Yeah, because otherwise I could see them being in one of those like trade groups.
Could
like
be.
if you're connected with that, and maybe kind of like a, hey, we'll bring your Black Raven back over if you're gonna take our Maui Brewing or
right.
something. But there's a handful of, like, we went to Honolulu. There's a handful of craft breweries. There's a Yard House nearby, and I mean they have a full collection of stuff. So, but I don't recall it like number one, I'm not going to Hawaii and looking for Washington beer, so I can't say that I was like cognizant of that aspect of it, of paying attention to the distribution of like our local beers over there. But it,
Well, and I wasn't even thinking so much Washington beers, just with the expense of getting stuff over there. Are they just hurting for non-Hawaii based craft beers?
I mean,
and so there's a market for anything kind of new and interesting in their bottle shops.
yeah, maybe. And I don't know that I found one or went there. I was with the whole family, not just like kind of on my own, like extended family. So I wasn't really.
Well,
I did get us into a couple of breweries while we were there, but
could also be Bo made an excuse to write off a trip to Hawaii.
Now there is not a bad idea. That's
hey
what
guys,
I'm saying.
I got to do some market research.
Yes.
Right? We need to get into Hawaii, so I need to see what the people want in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Don't mean to throw you under the bus, bud, but
yeah, no,
not a bad idea.
I think it's a great business idea.
That was just interesting. The group that they had gone, but they hadn't crept down into Oregon, and it could be just the regulations and what it costs.
Yeah, who knows? That's
distribution rights in there.
Maybe they just hate Oregon. I'm
Could
kidding.
be.
I'm not putting it on
Could
you.
be.
I'm sorry, Black Raven.
But I mean, honestly, you can't pump your own gas in Oregon, so I mean,
Well, under the Ravens, they're not rooting for the Ducks.
yeah, no,
Just there you go.
fuck the Ducks.
So next beer up, unless you got any knowledge bombs to drop in between, Thor.
I got nothing. So
Okay.
now as we Alec has poured us the Festivus. Can you rip
Sure.
the important facts while I get
I
our
was
other seasonal
I was
stuff?
creeping at this one because I started pouring it when
Yeah.
you were talking. I'm kind of intrigued by this
All right,
one.
so I'll run through highlights.
A beautiful pour, by the way, on Brian's
thank you.
Brian's end. It was glorious.
To the top. So this is a Black Raven Festivus. This is their holiday pale ale, limited release, which my guess would be not even seasonal. I mean, we'll see how it goes, right?
Right now, it is in the best of the Nest seasonal beers for
Okay.
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's in there. So limited release, but seasonal release. It is 7.3%. So up there for a pale ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a boozy pale.
And it doesn't really. It's. You
It's-
know what? Holding this up to, we finished them all, but the Coco Jones and this is not.
it's lighter.
It is lighter, but not
A ton.
markedly.
They're more in the same vein of like a darker version of one of the others,
Right.
not being like I said, that it didn't feel like a porter color to me.
So this one's brewed with orange peels, Northwoods cranberries. I'm not even going to try that route.
What?
And
Some word
you
on
try
there?
it, You try it.
Oh, melange.
No, that
Oh.
one's melange, the Galaganel.
Galangal root?
Right, sure.
Huh. You could put a galangal root in front of me and I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Uh,
I think legally you can't do that in half the United States. You're yelling over it in front of somebody.
I think I'm super intrigued by the orange peels make sense.
Especially for a holiday.
Holiday one. I love the thought of putting some cranberries in there.
Yeah.
Spices make sense for the holiday one, and then galangal root, I'm not sure.
No.
They're calling it juicy, tart, piney, orange, and spice. I took a drink. I don't get overwhelming spice. It's not like a winter warmer spice, but I could get like a little hint of it. I think there's a perfect hints of all these things. None of them. It's not overly tarty. It's not overly piney, but I feel like you just get like a solid mouthful of flavor.
I was missing the cranberry on the first flavor, but holding it a little bit, it kind of rotates through in there. There is a little bit of that cranberry coming off the spice.
Yeah, we are splitting them, pouring kind of small glasses.
I took the entire shot glass.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about.
More flavor.
Yeah, letting it overwhelm. I kind of sat with it for a second after
Let
Alex
Flavor
said
Town
that.
hit you.
Yeah.
It just nothing overwhelms the other one, but you just get more flavors. It's so perfectly balanced. All the things you said that are in the can, I get them all. I got some piney on my tongue at the end. The cranberry was kind of singing in the background. The orange was there, but then there was enough of that pale ale body and the malt to. I am very impressed, and especially since this probably sat for 2-3 months on the shelf.
Yeah, that's a great question.
This is a
Post-holiday,
yeah, because this is probably
Uh,
ideally a December beer.
Can you check and see if there's a canned on date?
There are, and they put a little love note For the rest of us,
Because it's Festivus.
yeah. 10-6, 22.
10-6?
10-6.
All right.
So that's not bad.
So probably should have, Thanksgiving to Christmas would have been ideal. There might be a little less, but
I mean, Festivus is like what, the 23rd of December or something like that?
I thought it was a thing where the area of grievances. Oh no, that's Seinfeld. Sorry.
That's what this
I
is
thought
from.
this was a reference to.
It is.
Festivus.
Festivus.
It took me a minute to catch it. I don't know the date. I haven't watched Seinfeld in 15 years.
I've never watched it. People just posted about it.
Oh.
When people get a thing like that, they don't let it go. It's like I hate May 1st because I'm just going to get a bunch of Justin Timberlake memes singing "It's Gonna Be May." See, you're not on social. You're not on social media enough.
I'm not on
or be glad you're not on social media enough. I like this one though. I think it's a solid. I think it's a great fall one. It kind of makes me think of almost like some Oktoberfesty type beers, but with more.
It's
Obviously-
Oktoberfest adjacent.
Yeah, it's got like, I think when you hold it in your mouth, you get a little bit more like understanding of the booziness of it. Like, and not like, it's not in a bad way. It's not like,
No, it's not astringent or overly alcohol.
but it just like it's a warming almost.
Mhm.
Like you just a pleasant enough bit of it. Yeah, I like this one. I would look for it again and try and find it and keep an eye on it.
Yeah, a little earlier in the year, or I guess later in the year.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately I've kind of put Black Raven in one of the categories of it's around so much in the stores that when you are playing the like what's new and available game, you just kind of skip it.
You become blind to it.
Yeah, and I
Which
don't-
I am guilty as well because I've walked by these guys.
Yeah, and I don't think
A
it's
lot.
fair that I've done it. But it's still, I mean, but I don't think I've had a bad beer from them.
No.
I think what they're doing with these, like this little collection of stuff, has been a great variety.
Yes.
I mean, we kind of intentionally, because in the past we have reviewed Trickster a number of times, but like there's no IPAs that we went through today. Like,
I specifically avoided IPAs.
yeah,
Because I think everyone's so used to being introduced to a brewery through an IPA.
yeah.
I thought it was a good exercise for us to try 4 beers from the same place
Yeah.
that aren't hop dominant.
Yeah.
That you have to be able to crush it on your beer recipe and not be able to
Right, there's a lot more nuance in these beers
Yes.
than just
Mhm.
over
Yes.
hopping for an IPA. Not that the Trickster was over hopped or
No.
a bad beer, but
but we
these
have
are a lot. These are a lot harder to pull off and pull off well than
Yes.
just a West Coast IPA.
because we have encountered in the past beers that were IPAs just to cover up the crimes done in the background. Like the hops were just there to cover up maybe
We've made
bad mix of malt or
made some of
some
those
off
beers.
flavors.
I can still picture
Yeah.
one we had in the airport that like. It's probably one of the few beers I've not finished. We were leaving Vegas one time, and there was like a Nevada brewery in the
Sin City
airport, and it
Brewing or
was
something. Yeah.
no.
I don't want to throw them under the bus.
Sin City. I've had wasn't Sin City, but yeah, it was just not. They just hopped it to. It's like me messing up my my stout, over hopping it, and just being like, well, now I have a Cascadian Dark Ale.
Right.
Now I have an Imperial Pale Stout.
So the beer you didn't bring here, and we've known about these for a couple weeks. The beer that I was looking forward to from their like off of the beaten path was that they have a sour beer.
The watermelon mint sour
Whoa.
ale.
That one's a seasonal. I think they have a year-round sour. They're Corvus Creecus.
Let's
I didn't see
it's
it.
Not in the year-end series.
I say I didn't hear him talk about
the
that.
year-round series. Sorry.
Maybe it wasn't a year-round. Maybe it was a seasonal release. I was doing some research on Black Raven and saw that. But a sour offer is also a very difficult one to get,
Yes.
right? And as we're heading into spring and summer, that sour beer sort of tends to crop up a little bit more into a daily rotation, not daily, regular rotation for me. But they have it huge. I mean, you're flipping through it right now. Their
So we've got
offerings are
9 year-rounders,
yeah.
10 seasonals, which the Players Club Pilsner
Part
is
of a
one
seasonal.
of them. The Festivus is one of them. They have a Grandfather Raven Imperial Stout, a Splinter Scotch Ale, which is more ABV than the normal one. The Fresh Hop IPA, a Flocktoberfest Lager, which that'll be interesting to check out.
That would be a good
this
one.
fall.
Yeah, I'd like that to try that.
The aforementioned Watermelon Mint Sour Ale.
Yep.
I'm intrigued.
Yep.
Summer of Sultana, that is a hazy IPA. And it looks like they've made a special one for 2022 Seattle Beer Week, West Coast IPA. So there'll probably be a 2023 Seattle Beer Week version.
Yeah, I wonder about
Tropical Trickster IPA, which I almost grabbed that
Tropical
one.
would be See what that
And
twist
then
looks like.
The Macho Grande Hazy Imperial IPA.
I've had that one.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that was one of the flight ones. That and the other one I was waiting to see if you put on there it's called the Gunpowder Plot, was a
I did
like a
not
porter
see it.
on nitro. So that's one of the things too,
No,
is like
they
I'm
pro-
wondering
Let me
about
see the
Alec, what
tap
you
room
found
offerings.
where you found that Creekus one.
It was on their website.
Huh, interesting. But yet not what Thor's finding.
Well,
so
let me go to the, because I think the tap rooms have
And it could be
some
out of
stuff
their
that aren't
Redmond
canned, 'cause
R&D. Yeah, it
True.
should be.
True.
I was just looking at what their canned offerings
Oh,
are.
okay. Yeah.
There probably are more experimental
yes.
and
Well, I
more
mean,
seasonal or special beers at their tap rooms.
If they have a brewery that's designed just for innovation and experimentation, my guess is they have a million that aren't even
Right.
website worthy.
Yeah, so let's see what's on tap right now.
Yeah, the Macho Grande looks like they're canning now. I had never seen it, but I had it on tap and I really enjoyed it.
So,
Yo.
no, go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So the only other thing, so I was doing last minute research, so I came in semi prepared. Show prep, which is a novel idea.
Nice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So when I googled Black Raven Brewing, one of the first autocompletes that popped up was Black Raven Brewing food truck.
Okay.
And I about lost my mind at what a genius idea it would be to have a microbrewery food truck to park and the rest of them.
And so the logistics of serving beer
I was gonna say, can you?
out of a truck.
Right. So that's not what it is.
Okay.
But at their Woodinville facility, they do have 2 or 3 nights a week where they bring in rotating food trucks. So you can go in and get good beer and then just
Which to me is
Awesome.
As someone who I'd love to open a brewery at some point. I don't want a restaurant.
right now you get to shortcut all of the food prep
Yeah.
side of it. So
Yeah.
you can go in, and again, I think it was 2 or 3 nights a week.
Probably
but you can go in
Thursday,
get,
Friday, Saturday.
You can go and get quality beer
Yeah.
and kind of a not a la carte, but
Yeah.
I don't know, roll the dice on what the
Driven
food,
variety.
roll the dice on what the food's going to be. So I thought
I
that
love
was
it.
pretty cool.
So props to them for having something like that, and it also just gives for some people it gives a kind of peace of mind that I can go and have some food with my drinks, not just a lot of drinks. Kind of helps you to balance that out, and it just makes it. There are some people I know who they won't go somewhere if you can't get food, which
It also makes it easier, if you're dragging along somebody who's maybe going to have a beer,
yeah.
but they're not going to go hang out with you for, a few hours and watch you have, 2 or 3.
I'm talking about my wife.
Okay, sure. I wasn't going to go in. But if you're
I
going
drag her all sorts of places like that.
we're going to go get food.
Yeah.
So they're getting dinner, they're getting a meal, they're hanging out. They got something more to draw you in there as well. It widens the crowd that you can bring in.
I actually think she was gluten free when we went there, so I was probably just me drinking beer, and she had to hang out with me.
All right. Any other thoughts on Black Raven?
I
Brewing?
just wanted to wrap up
Sure.
on this the Core of 4 series they
Mhm.
do real quick, which I thought was a very cool thing to do. So traditionally, there are four ingredients for beer.
Yep.
You've got your barley, you've got your yeast, you got your water, you got your hops.
Yep.
Okay.
So what an additional series that Black Raven does is the Core of Four, where they celebrate each element.
Oh.
So they have a Doppelbock to celebrate the barley.
Yeah.
To
highlight the malts.
Yeah.
And then a West Coast IPA to celebrate hops. A wit beer to celebrate the yeast, because you get that.
Yeah.
Because it's picking the right yeast is so important on a wheat-based beer.
Right.
And this makes it or breaks it. Period. Like that horrible hef I had once in my life. That was just, they leaned way too much in the banana from the yeast.
Yeah.
Just ruined it. Then element 4, water.
I've been waiting to hear what this one is.
It's a little tougher. So their water offering, which sounds very delicious.
If you tell me it's a seltzer.
I was going to wonder if it's a hop water.
No. It's, so, imagine a sour ale.
Okay.
With a base of pale and Pilsner, so very light. But blueberry and lemon.
Okay.
As a sour.
The blueberry and Sicilian lemon sour ale celebrates water.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That could be tasty.
All right.
Maybe that's
so
the future,
it's
future
not
podcast if we can get our
I
hands on.
think it's on tap right now.
Road trip.
Right?
Maybe. But I think I'm definitely putting that one on the list to try this spring.
Yeah.
I think this I don't want to jinx it, but I think spring 2023. It's A, hot boy summer. B, hot sour beer summer. But not like physically hot. It's
Yes.
I think it's going to be I think this is going to be the year of the sour. I'm saying it right now.
Okay, you try it. We'll see how it goes. You just buried its grave.
10-year path to
a year
I
from
was
now.
listening to a podcast
it'll be
that called
different.
it. Someone was talking about this is the year of the lager, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding
Nope,
me!"
Not gonna happen.
Every year is the year of the lager.
Should we finish up with our standard?
I think it's time to fridge some beers.
Some beers.
Yep.
Fridge some beers. So, Players Club.
I would.
So it's a seasonal. So it's not a year round. So main fridge.
This would be. I think this as a pilsner. I would love having it in my fridge whenever I can.
So it would be a seasonal main fridge.
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
what I would say.
Yeah, for me.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
And then
What was
the Kitty
next?
Cat Blues, Blueberry Pale Ale.
So it's
A year-round offering.
Yeah.
It's good for what they were going for. It's the only one of the 4 that I did not top off my glass with. It's interesting. I would get it in a flight. I don't know if I'm fridging it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that, like, if you're really into blueberry,
Yep.
could be like a more common one. I just personally, I don't know that I'm buying it a ton.
Right. If you hand me one, I will.
Oh
drink
yes,
it.
yes. Yeah, it's a good beer. I don't know. I honestly don't know that it's gonna. I feel bad because it's a good beer, but I don't know that just personally it's gonna make it in my fridge. But every couple of trips, I'd throw it into a flight.
Yeah, if I see it in the single beer section where I can build my own
There you go.
six-pack, I'll
Yes,
throw one
yes.
or I'll throw one
Yeah,
or
it's
two
about
in.
perfect, yep.
But
Yeah, that's a great.
grab
Great
the
call
12
there.
pack of it.
No.
Little iffy. Maybe if I have company over.
Yeah.
Coconut Jones.
I really like that one. And I've had it before. And like we said, we've almost overlooked Black Raven running down the beer aisle because you see it so often. I forgot how good it was. I think I throw a beer fridge. It's not a main fridge consistent, but I think I should have a 6-pack in there just for grabbing a can every once in a while to either start the night or share it with somebody who hasn't had it before. So I think that's a solid beer fridge one for me.
Same. I think the same vein as you. That is a great one to have in your beer fridge if you have somebody who comes over. Ooh, I'm scared of beer.
Right.
Or I don't feel like a lager or a pilsner or
Right.
something that's
Something a little bit.
traditionally very beery, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
but also something that's a nice 12-ounce sip.
I'm pouring
and
myself
enjoy-
a little more right now.
And enjoy like while I'm making dinner.
Yeah.
That'd be the perfect little snack while you're making dinner.
Were you putting it, Bren?
I don't think it's gonna make it.
No, the coconut.
I
Coconut
think
not your thing.
Yeah, I think part of it is the coconut. I really like stouts, porters, not maybe as much,
Right.
and then you add the coconut. So I think it's a well done beer. I think like my sister, I could get her like a gift of that. Every couple of months she's gonna drink stouts or those types of things all the time. I think that's one that like I know people who would love it and really enjoy it. So maybe if she's coming over and I need to have her beer for her, it's a 6-pack that I can just leave in there and do that. But for me personally, it's not going to make it, and I just don't think it's nothing against that beer, just not for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
On the other hand, the Festivus,
Yes.
number one, I looked it up. I got friends who've checked it in all the way back in 2016.
So it's been around for a while.
I'm going to keep an eye out for it.
Yes.
I'm looking for that and probably getting a if it's coming in a 4-pack because it's 16-ounce cans.
This was available in a 4-pack. I think they're. Never mind. No. It was only a 4-pack or singles at the bottle shop I went to.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm grabbing it and putting it in for my holiday season. I'll definitely. I think I would at least get through a 4-pack without too much time. So yeah, I'm gonna look for that next year.
Yeah, this would be solid beer fridge, but then also a bringing a 4-pack to a party.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Level. So
A Friendsgiving.
something like that. Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's a very giftable beer.
Yeah.
That like there's giftable beer that you're gifting it so you don't have to drink it.
Yes.
Is that what those
This
6-packs
is
you
not-
sent us home with were?
Maybe. That is not what this is.
No.
You're gifting this because you want to give the gift of good taste.
Yeah, or you are gifting it in hopes that they're gonna hand some cans out after you've given it to them.
Yes.
Which, speaking of which, you can pass that can over to me if there's any
Oh,
left.
okay. No. There might be.
A little bit left in that.
Yeah,
Not for
so-
long.
Yeah, not bad.
So overall, as a brewery, in the encompassing of all the offerings,
Mhm.
Do you see your main fridge or your garage fridge some Raven Brewing offering most of the year?
Well, I think we've all put one of these 4 in a main fridge, right?
Yeah, I think
And
at
that
least
doesn't even count the Trickster or the Second Sight or the ones that we've had in the past. So I think it deserves main fridge shelf space.
I think they're a brewery who has not been getting enough maybe credit.
But
And like I said earlier, like
They've
I
been
wasn't
doing it-
giving them enough credit.
Because they almost, like we've talked about it multiple times, they almost come across as a local, not macro, but
Yeah.
kind of like a local macro. You see them so often that you
They're-
don't associate them with being
They're
that.
so available
Yep.
that you kind of take it for granted.
And that's been their approach. Is they, and when we were looking at the distribution, is they'd rather distribute well to where they're
Yes.
at instead of
Yes.
stretch themselves and then not have availability. So
Yeah.
it's kind of the game they're playing, which I'm hoping
A
it's working
strong
for 'em.
base.
Yeah.
I am a fan of building a strong base and then navigate to the new markets, but keep the areas that help build you happy.
Well supplied. Yep.
And they've been doing it since 2019, so that's we're
No,
almost at
2009,
2009. What?
19 was the new
building.
Woodinville.
Maybe I shouldn't have had that second glass of.
Yeah, the 11%er. Yeah.
Anyways,
Well, I'm gonna finish this Festivus.
shall we toast this final shot
Yeah.
glass of Festivus?
There you
gentlemen?
go.
Yeah. Cheers to
Salute.
cheers to us and to
Thank you.
Black Raven
Thank you to Bo and Kat of Black Raven Brewing for this
guys.
fantastic.
Kitty Cat, the
Ooh.
blueberry
Yeah,
beer.
you just caught that.
Listen,
Listen, we're not so
oh,
hot on the uptake
listen. You
today.
said we had to focus our brain
Yeah,
cells,
and
and
you guys said you did your research.
no. one of us said they did their research.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. Well, now our glasses are empty. Hopefully yours are too, and we'll see you next time.
Make sure to
subscribe.
I know.
Like and subscribe, bro.
Gotta find a way to say
Click-
it that's not sounding like that.
click subscribe, bruh.
If you enjoyed what you just heard, make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on social media at A Beer Review. And send us any beer review suggestions for us to review.